the average man to break. So I salute him for it, man. I got a lot of respect for him. So the respect and the admiration stops me from feeling sorry. So I find ways to empathize, right?
Yeah. Have you rocked with him since 16, or did you join on later?
No, man. I've been with him since a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been having admiration and respect and adoring Donald Trump since we was a kid. I was born in the 70s, homie. I grew up in the 80s. All the black entertainers loved him during the 80s. There's from the Jet magazines to Ebony magazines, he'd been in all of them. In the 90s, late 80s and the 90s, every major hip-hop rapper that you can think of, from LL Cool J to Young Jeezy to Snoop Dogg to Nelly, have made reference. Donald Trump, Bill Gates, let me in now. So Donald Trump's name has been mentioned in almost over 300 rap songs within the hip-hop community. And that was just during the 80s and the 90s. So when you think about in the 2000s, when I seen him with 50 Cent, I seen him with G-Unit, I've seen him with NBA players. So then all of a sudden, when he came out with the television show The Apprentice, right? So The Apprentice was on television for a long time. I never heard nobody say he was a racist when he had some of the most major black stars and celebrities that was on Apprentice, from Little John, Omarosa. You can go a list of people that even Claudia Jordan was on there, somebody who bashes him all the time. So he had a whole resume. He got an award in the 80s with Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali. So I'm knowledgeable of this as a black person. So it wasn't until he decided to run as a Republican that you all of a sudden heard the media outlets and other people, well, he's a racist. Man, I ain't never heard that before. So they can't trick me when they tricked me as a kid to believe otherwise.
Right. So how effective was that on the black community? Did that change their votes, you think?
Yeah, it was very effective. Because most black people don't have the knowledge. Not that I have, but most black people most Americans, let me just say this, but most black people are uninformed voters. Because you don't know anything about the candidates until they begin to get down to the primaries. You really don't start paying attention till they down to the last two.
Right.
So I learned in college, homie, studying politics and political science, that majority of our politicians, majority of these companies, that's why they put fine print in fine print. They rely on us being uninformed. That's what keep them in power. That's what keep them in their position, us really not knowing. So that's why you never hear politicians answer direct questions. They talk around. So the uninformed voter typically comes out of my community. Not only that, once they turn us against you, we're uninformed, so we're not going to vote properly. Then we're going to have the lowest voter turnout. So we lose in two categories. We're going to have the lowest voter turnout. So I used to be a precinct chair. I used to be an election judge around here for the Tarrant County GOP Republican Party. So I would set up the elections, taking all the votes, and man, some of the precincts in the district that I was in, out of 5 precincts, 3 of them would have no voters to show up.
Wow.
So that's part of why most people stay in power for so long. It's the low voter turnout and the uninformed voter.
Wow.
So once they tell us that he's racist and we buy into the racist narrative, man, we lose.
They ran with that narrative, man.
They
almost got me with it, to be honest. Till I did some research, but the average person is just gonna see that headline and be like, yeah, I agree.
When you understand racism, capitalism, and socialism, you can't balance both. At one point in time, this country was driven by racism. It was built on racism. Capitalism took over at one point in time, right? Nothing seems to be beating capitalism, not even racism. Nothing seems to be beating capitalism right now.
Right. Because why would it matter what race you are if you're making
Yeah.
money? Like,
Yeah, this is a capitalist country. It's not a racist country. You still have racist people in this country, who's in positions and power to make choices and decisions. But this country is spinning on capitalism.
and I like that I mean, there's companies that I think, ethically or morally wrong, but overall capitalism is pretty good,
Yeah.
you know?
It's better than socialism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than socialism. Democrats, for the most part, prefer socialism. Government entitlement. The government can fix everything. Uh, yeah, nah.
So what do you think about the programs of, paying people back, like food stamps, Social Security, all that?
Uh, Marxism. That's a Marxist. Yeah, yeah. Nah, man. You want the government less involved in your life. You don't want the government giving you no money for however many babies you had.
Mm.
You don't want the government feeding your family if you can't feed it. Because then that's communism in almost a fashion. So we want the freedom to be able to pursue the American dream, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and also have the government tell you what, when, who, and where.
Mm.
Uh, at some point, they'll say, okay, we didn't give you enough money for kids. You can't have any more children. So, man, this country was built off Americans helping one another, not the government.
I feel that. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
gonna be people watching this in Section 8 pissed off, but I think, yeah, when you become too reliant, it's not a good thing.
Hey, neighbor, got some sugar I can borrow. Hey, it was barter, man, not the government. Coming in and saying every month you get $700 worth of food stamps. But I'm gonna check and make sure who lives here. You can't get married. Man, when you apply for government assistance, you open your life up to them. Man, they got some questions for your ass.
Wait, you can't get married on food stamps?
You might not get food stamps if you married.
Wow. Yeah, it's a
As
good
a
point
black
'cause
couple.
the household income would
There
go
you
up,
go.
yeah. Damn, and then people purposely make less so they could still stay on it, so they're
There you
never
go.
gonna advance, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing, like, why would you wanna just stay at the same level?
It's a level of security. It's a safety net. I could lose my job one day because I know I may show up late. I really don't have a work ethic. Uh, I'm unmotivated sometimes. So why would I give up this for that?
Mm.
I can rely on this. I can't rely on that enough because that involves me relying completely upon me. Working every day, going to work every day so I don't have to keep getting this government assistance. Well, the days I don't feel like going to work, what supplements that? The government assistance.
Right.
So uh, I've had that mindset before. Uh, yeah, I've had that mindset before. Man, I don't want to lose my disability. Because it was a safety net. And the mentality that I had at the time was an irresponsible mentality, right? Because I know the disability and the food stamp gonna pay the rent. It covers what I live. I can kind of hustle to come up with the rest. Uh, I wanted to be irresponsible at times.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to be irresponsible at times. And so I wasn't willing to give up my safety net. And so I understand that mindset. It's an irresponsible, poor mindset.
So what was that moment that got you out of that? Because it was recently, right?
Yeah. I had a conversation with my son's principal. And he could hear outside of the door, but I didn't know he could hear. And I was telling this principal how I'm a poor, struggling single father. And that I was driving my son through 3 cities to make sure they get to so he can get the proper education. So when I came out that office, we got in the car. My son had tears in his eyes when he looked at me. He said, "Dad, are we really poor?" Uh, that question man, it body rocked my soul.
Mm.
Uh, because you really don't know if children have a concept of what poor is. But he was saddened by that he heard me say that. And I had to be honest because we were staying in a 1-bedroom apartment. I was getting disability food stamps. Yeah, we was poor. I said, yeah, mijo, we're poor. And he looked at me and he said, was there anything you can do about it, Dad? Man, I almost broke down crying.
Wow.
The man in me replied without even thinking. I said, yes, every day. I'm trying to do something about it. But I wasn't. I was content with where we were. It was too difficult. At that time, I couldn't fathom what could I do to get out this situation financially. I couldn't think of nothing.
Mm.
Yeah, I couldn't think of nothing that I could do financially to change these conditions other than going back to school. And that's how I ended up back in school, trying to pursue law degree. Yeah, that's how I ended up back in school, to try to do something about those conditions.
Wow, that's incredible. I didn't know you went through that, man. Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that. That's really deep.
Yeah, so I was a non-traditional. I went back to community college like in my mid-30s, early 30s, all the way up until I was 40. So I did almost 5 years from community college to the university level. But I found a way to subsidize the financial aid, the student loans, kind of like you would with welfare.
Mhm.
So I figured out how to use the just your subsidized loan money, your grant money, and scholarship money, and use that to live off of.
Smart.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, because the loans are like the interest rate's really high, right? So,
yeah. But if you do right with it, just pay it back later.
right.
But right now, I'm getting ahead. I'm changing, yeah. So, and just so you figure, man. Every August, the start of a fall semester, you getting $6,000-7,000 in financial aid money.
Mhm.
Well, normally books go cost you about 3 or 4. Well, I'm smart enough to know I'm gonna go rent the books. I'm gonna go pay rent up for 3 or 4 or 5 months, so it take the financial pressure off me,
Mm.
of me and the kids. Now I can think a little bit. So now I can go study, I can move a little bit more, do some little odds and end jobs until the next check come. Yeah, so that's what I did to subsidize my life so I could have some a financial uh some breathing room, right? Some breathing room so I can think clear and better.
Wow.
Yeah.
So university really helped you then.
Yeah, community college did. That was just the community college then the university. So yeah, because I don't want to make it seem like, you go just to get the money, but on the university level, those checks go from being 6,000 to closer to 10,000. And the longer you're in school, the more they was giving at the time. So between the subsidized and unsubsidized student loans, uh, that was damn near what, 15,000. You get another what 5,600, 5,700 in Pell Grant. You get another what almost 3,600 in your state grants, and then I was doing this. I was writing papers for scholarships, so I was winning scholarships, getting another $5,000, $10,000. All that was being put in my pocket. It was just broken down by way of semesters.
Wow, so you were a good writer too.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So now, homie. So that became my outlet. That became my avenue to transition from being associated with the street elements, right? The criminal elements of society to finding a way to disassociate it. I found another avenue out.
So you used academics to get out of that.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, because I have a different take on college. I don't think it's pretty useful for most people, but I can't even deny what you did. It worked. So
yeah. It's not for everybody. Uh, you have to know what you want. I just happened to go late in life and knew what I wanted, right? Man, you have to be groomed for college. You can't graduate and say, "Oh, well, this is what I think I want to do." You have to have a plan. because it's so many barriers and obstacles from the time you try to go enroll, do the financial aid, uh, that can hinder you, right? So you have to know, and this is what you really want to do. Other than that, you got to go find a trade. Some people need a job.
Mm.
Some people need to go to prison. Some guys need the military. But only you and the people who know you best knows what you need. Whether that's a teacher, a mentor, a coach, they know you and they know you best, right? So what I mean by they know you best, they don't see the bad in you, they see the potential.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.